Oh, I completely did not time that right. Hello, everyone. So, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different for this live stream, and by different, considering this is only the second one I've done, I mean, I'm not going to do a tutorial type thing. So, next week, the Madison, Wisconsin admin group has got a meeting, and we're going over the Winter 22 release notes. I'm doing Flow. Surprise. And I need to build a bunch of demos. So, today I'm going to go through and I'm going to build demos for the Flow. Uh, Fair warning, I've read most of the release notes. I flagged some things I'm going to build demos, but I haven't really played with the release yet. So I wholeheartedly expect mistakes to be made and things to go crazy. The other thing, someone had asked me, where is my wizard hat? So there you go. You got the wizard hat. You're welcome. All right. I'll be monitoring the chat. So if you do have questions on Flow or whatever, feel free to chime in. But let's take a look. As soon as I figure out how to switch. There we go. So ignore the quip. This is where I'm keeping track of various and everything. And we have our wonderful release notes. So the way I do the release notes is I look through this section called How and When Do Features Become Available. And I literally just go down the list and say what sounds interesting, what sounds like something I need to know about. I particularly pay attention to the requires that admin set up or the ones that are enabled for users, because if it's enabled for users, it's immediately on. And sometimes that can take people by surprise. But otherwise, I usually jump down and go to a particular section and just go through the list. And there is a lot for Flow. There's a lot about debugging. There's about extensions. They've changed how things kind of look and feel. So it's a lot, but that's okay. We're gonna go through some of these things. So I have a few, and these are not really organized or in a particular order or anything useful. So if we take a look at, we have so it's a new view for being able to see how things are running. So let's jump into my dev org and look at flows. This automation process type. There we go. Select fields to display trigger. We'll add those too. Oh, there we go. Run after save, run before save opportunity. That's nice. Okay. Demo done, I guess, for that. There's some things about how emails are being updated now, or being sent now if you have an automation that is updating its same record that triggered it. It's consistent word for pause for statuses. There's this thing called asynchronous path, where it's really intended for if you're going to have Flow do a call out to, say, send a Slack message or some external system. I don't have an external system, so I can't demo that. But subflows, that is one we do want to do. So subflows is being able to call a flow from a record trigger flow. And that's a really big deal. So if we look at the release notes, we need to create the auto launch field, and then we can reference that in there. So we need to do a couple things. I need a flow to use as subflow that needs to take in, say, record and record prior variables, and then we need to create the actual trigger flow. So let's create this what will be the subflow, and that's an auto launch. And we'll do the auto layout. Excuse me. Alright, so first things first. I know I need to have a couple of record variables. And I guess what should we do? Let's go off of... Let's do opportunity, because I always do opportunity. Record. We're not doing multiples. It's an opportunity. We make it available for input. I'll make it available for output. We'll do a second resource. We'll call it prior. Excuse me. And I always like putting descriptions in, because I don't know about you, I always constantly forget what things are. So now I have my 2 items. So let's think through this. What do I want to do? I'm going to assume this is going to fire on an after basis. I don't even know, does it work with before or just after? Doesn't matter? Doesn't say. I'm going to assume it's on both. But if it's before, that kind of changes how I do things. So we're going to assume it's after. And what do we want to do with the after? Let's do an update record. And we're grabbing the account. We're basing this off of the ID equaling our opportunity account ID. And our field account type goes customer, and let's see, what else do I have in here that I can use? I'm going to, let's see. All right, just so I have more than one thing in there. So we update an account. What else do I want to do that would make sense? Let's do a send email. And we'll do this closed one notification. And we'll do the opportunity ID here. Did I miss it? I must have missed it. There it is. Alright, and then for grins, let's do a check where we check the current value of what would make sense. This is the hardest thing I have with doing demos, is coming up with the scenario or the use case to use. So a lot of times the stuff I come up with is completely contrived and terrible. So let's just say if it's greater than, let's make it an easy 100,000. And let's, okay. the label here would be opportunity size, and then if it's greater than 100K, I need to perform some sort of action. What should we do? Let's do a feed post. Create a new task. No. Messaging, nanos. I always forget what it is. I should just get in the habit of using here. And we need a message. And then our target is the opportunity ID. No. I always forget what this is. Target type. I don't remember if I need to put that in there. We'll find out. Let's edit this actually. And make it say over. And then we'll do another chatter post. And this be under 100K. This is going to be again, this is going to be the opportunity ID. All right, I think this is good enough. So we're going to do this opportunity. Let's call it closed won actions. Save. Active. All right, back to the flow. So in my previous live stream, I actually created a couple before and after flow triggers, and I don't want to use these. So I'm going to deactivate them and start with a clean slate. Oh, you know what? I am wrong, because this is a completely different org. So no, I don't have the stuff that I migrated from workflows in here. So we have our record trigger flow. Let's delete some things here. Delete. And look at the list. So in this case, I'm firing whenever the opportunity has a name, which basically means it's always going to fire. All right. And every time a record is updated, meet the conditions. That's what we want, because we essentially want this type of flow to fire every single time. So we'll start off with stage. And we're going to start with this being, so like idea here is if I had a whole bunch of different things I want to have happened based on this stage, I would create action or decision outcomes that represents each stage that I need to do some sort of action on. So let's pick another one just so we can have it. Let's do negotiation or review. Review stage. And then put that there. The other thing I just realized is this needs to be checking to see if it's changed as well. because otherwise it will do these actions if it's at that stage, regardless if it became that stage or not. It's changed. True. And I need a pathway for... So I can do this one of two ways. Either I can make it so the default outcome means that none of the stage decision outcomes were met and it should just go on to check to see if there's other items. Or I can use the default outcome to be there was something wrong, none of these met criteria, and it should have met criteria. But I think I'm going to go with no stage change. So in this decision, I'm making the assumption that a stage is being changed. This is interesting. So we have run immediately. Man, I need to get rid of that path. Delete the path. There we go. Alright. So we have our decisions, and now I need to call my subflow. So here's the flow. Opportunity closed one actions. And we're including opportunity, which we're going to set to the record, and the prior, which we're going to set to the prior, and closed one stage. Okay. I don't know if I want to create a sub. I'm not going to create a subflow for negotiation review. But let's do a chatter post. I mean, like I said, completely contrived. And this becomes the ID. Done. All right. Let's do save as. Do new version. Activate. All right. So in theory, this demo is done with being able to call subflows. I got a subflow built. I have an example of a subflow being used. Now, where do we want to go? Let's do rollback changes when a flow element fails at runtime. All right. I think we can do this in the same flow. What do we want to have happen? Maybe we need to let's call it opportunity products. Opportunity product. And we're getting that's where the opportunity ID is the same as here. So I'm getting it mixed up. Some of the places is actually listed under opportunity ID instead of. All right, so this would work. So I'm going to have one where it works. And we'll do one where I'm purposely wanting it to fail. What would be a good way to make that fail? Well, one way to do it is to pass in something that is not going to be used, like an invalid item. Maybe. No, I don't think. Yeah, coming back with no records isn't something that fires. So what we can do is we can grab a field off of, do a couple drill downs here. Excuse me. No stage. No stage. And then our action is... What is our action? Oh, that's the wrong one. Rollback records. Okay. I don't see a rollback records. And one down. Oh, you know what? This is for Screenflows. Okay. So, never mind. That goes away. Let's create a new Screenflow. And Screenflow. Alright, so let's start with a screen. Put some text out there. And let's go get some records, get records. Let's go get the opportunity. ID equals, I'm going to call this from a button, so this becomes record ID. Technically, I'm calling it from lightning action. The first record on stack. Alright, so I get my record. And I want to put a field out there. So let's put close date. Let's put the name. Done. Let's create what do I want to do? I need to create this to be an update. And then I need to add a fault path. And the fault path, and there's my rollback records. And then, ideally I want to go back to the screen, which I can now do, because I have connect to element. Let's see, how does this work in, there we go. Connect to introduction screen, connect to introduction screen. So that means I will have two things in one flow. So we're connecting our elements. So let's move this so they're together so I don't forget. Okay. Save. And the opportunity. Save. Activate. Now we need to do a couple things. Because what we need to do is we need that to fail, and we need a couple ways to fail. We also need a way to contact or launch that flow. So let's do the flow first. Spring screen demo. Great. Let's replace this. Flow Winter. Alright, so now I have a way to create the flow, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a really stupid validation rule. To get my opportunity name field, it contains this winter. Alright, this I need to test. So let's go to our opportunities. Why is the Salesforce optimizer right there? Oh, that's because of the app it's running. No. New. Let's see. I have to have. Ha 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 ha. I knew I had a record in here. You can always tell when I've done things because I use the exact same names for accounts and everything. Alright, so my opportunity name is. Close date September 15th. I'm prospecting. I don't need anything else. I'll go there. Alright. Under screen demo. We're gonna go, we need to do. We're going to push this out to December, and this is now Winter 22, and this should error. It did error. But I didn't get a message. I would have anticipated a message. What is actually happening? Oh yeah, I need the record ID. Grab the record ID. Okay. Change this to winter. Change the close date. Next. So I do hit the validation rule. And the opportunity element is encountered an error. Yeah. And goes the rollback. Okay, so it is working. It's just not doing what I expected it to do. Because when it did the rollback, I kind of expected that these fields would have been displaying what was there when the opportunity came through, not what I had set. So like, and you refresh the screen and confirm that nothing got updated. Nothing got updated. So that means I need to add this display text. And let's put the flow fault message. I have no idea if this works. Let's find out. Save. And let's debug. And we'll paste our record ID. And we change our close date. And we change our name. And we click next. Flow trying to update this records. There's the error. Cool. So that does work. I just need it to stand out more. So let's turn this red. Excuse me. And red. Let's bold it. Increase the size. And we'll debug it again. See how this looks. Boom, 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 boom. There. That looks much nicer. Okay. So I have that done. I have that done. And then we have scheduled paths with enhancements for minutes. So this is a way for me to set a scheduled path to go in minutes before and a batch size. So I think I want to go back to my flow here. Oh. There we go. That was odd. It's it's active. That's the version that's active. But if I clicked on here, I saw the old version. Oh, that worked. Okay, I'm gonna blame that on cache. So let's add a schedule path. Time source when not when the opportunity is created. Yeah, when the opportunity is created, updated, and offset is now minutes after. No, let's do 5 minutes. The default is 200, and for grins, let's just do 5. Oh. So I know it's again another chatter post, but they're so much easier than doing almost anything else. And this is the opportunity ID. Now what's my, there's it. And now we pass that over here. There we go. New version. Alright, so that one's done. I don't know if doing an outbound message makes sense. What is streamline? Oh, this is just the look and feel. That I don't want to actually build. This one we can do. This is my Winter 21 screen. There we go. Use a custom label. That's easy. And I need to move that up so it's grouped together. Let's see. I don't know if anyone's watching, but if you are and you have questions, don't feel free to put something in the chat. Otherwise, this is just me talking to myself and going through. Read loops easier in an auto layout. Okay, so that means I need a flow with an auto layout or with a loop. What should I do? What should I do? What's this? A very old flow that looks awful. That's interesting. Okay. I have no idea what that is. Now I'm curious. I have to look. Oh, something I created in 2014. Okay. Oh, but the Indiana user. Alright, let's not use that. Let's create a new one. And let's do a Screenflow in the auto layout because we need to. And we'll start with getting records. We'll start with the opportunity once again. Equals, I needed the new resource. This has got to be called record ID with a capital I because we're calling this from a button. Make it available for input. First record store fields, great. Then we need to get another get records. We'll call this opportunity product. This is opportunity product. This is where the opportunity ID is equal to our opportunity ID. We want all records, store values, and add a screen. And display text. Then I want what do I want? Just a straight up number. Or do I want radio buttons, pick lists? Yeah, let's do a radio button. Data type, no component. Now, data type is. Do I want that to be? Yeah, let's do this. New choice, and we'll make this 10%. And we'll save that as 0.1. And let's make this another choice for 20%. This is 0.2. A third choice. And we'll just make this 50%. 0.5. And this is just a straight up 0. Yeah. Alright, did I make this required? I made this required. Set up. Great. So now I need a loops. And this is for opportunity products. Okay, that's kind of funky. And our item from the product loop is going to be the sales unit price equals, and I need a formula. It's going to be a currency, and this is going to be the list price times our discount amount. Okay, and another assignment. And I'm going to create a new collection. Record multiples. Opportunity product. This gets added. This is what we're adding. And then after the last, I do an update record. And we are updating our opportunity products update. So let's get some products added here. The joys of having other people at home. Save. Back. Wrong one. Let's hit the debug. I'm in the wrong flow. I did click the debug from here. That's because I'm in the wrong flow. Here we go. Run 20%. Next. Okay, I think that's good enough. I don't even think we have to activate it. Set up Screenflow choice with options for clicks. I'm not sure if that's edit choice instructed from the flow screen editor. Okay, that we can show. I don't think that's all that useful to show. Talk about that. Incompatible resources from choice components. I don't think that's a good demo. Keyboard shortcuts, a boring demo. We don't have anything to do manage. That's not going to be there. Change record field value with debugging. Debug schedule path. GUI. That might be it. We might be done. Alright. Well, I don't see anyone in chat. I'm going to assume no one's actively watching. But if you did watch, thanks for tuning in as I go through and I build out my demos for my user group meeting next week. Hopefully I'll do another live stream. I'm planning on migrating a process builder to Flow next. And I've been waiting for Winter'22 to come out, because to do that, to do that really well, I really want to be able to use subflows. My idea that I'm kicking around is that your primary flow that is representing basically the process builder is going to be a series of decisions, and each decision calls a subflow. So if we were going to write parallels, the criteria diamond in the process builder gets replaced with the decision element in a flow, and then your actions would get called in through the subflow. What I have to figure out yet is how do you want to handle time-based actions, because you can't create a path from the subflow. The scheduled path items are only done at the opportunity level, and the way this is set up is it has got to meet the criteria. So if we have the situation where we wanted to say we want to schedule a set of actions, but only after the opportunity is closed one based on a date, the only way I can think of doing that is having the criteria for the closed one being the start date as well as the configured path, which makes my decision subflow concept not work as well. So I'm going to think about that. But stay tuned, subscribe, like, do all that wonderful stuff that you do for YouTube. Thanks for watching.